was a surprise. I was surprised. I mean, last week wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad show. But this show was a surprising show. Not only because of the X Division, but for the rest of how things were structured. It was a better structured show. At least for me. Anyone else, you can tell me below if you thought the show was still a piece of crap. First thing I'm going to talk about is Crimson and the Veterans of War. I didn't really mention it the last couple of weeks because we still don't know who his partner is. My guess is his partner's probably... Well, let me get to Crimson first before I talk about his partner. Crimson talking about his life, using his real government name, showing his son, and how he's changed in the last couple of years since we last saw him in TNA. Before switching to Impact and Anthem, which I'm alright with. I actually enjoyed this vid pack of him. It was actually a good vid pack. It talked about how he got started in his life, that he was a single, with a single mom, not knowing his dad is, going into the military, and they cut it right there. Now here's the thing. When it comes to Crimson, being one of the Veterans of War, there's only kind of two people you can really mention in that. Because you're not going to mention Lashley, even though he was also in the army. You can only mention two next to him. One is Mr. Anderson. Kenneth Anderson was supposedly in the military at one point in his life. Other one is the Sarge Chris Melendez. Now, I'm hoping it's Mr. Anderson, not Chris Melendez. But let's be honest, I'm not against Chris Melendez because he has one leg. It's not the problem. The problem was that when it came to him, he was very awkward in the ring because he really hadn't been trained well enough. That was the problem. Using an artificial leg in the ring, there's a lot of problems with that because the other guy can get easily hurt because that is a steel or titanium leg. They can easily be harmed by it. It would have been better if he was working in the ring with only one leg. But, and I say this as a but, the problem with him was not the leg. The problem was that he was not ready. He was too awkward in the ring. He still was not ready yet. So I'm hoping for Mr. Anderson, being one of the Veterans of War, working with Crimson. I don't want to see Chris Melendez. I'm begging that it's not Chris Melendez. But it probably is. Now let's move on to another vid segment with Alberto El Patron. I'm glad to see him. That blue suit was good on him. And the way he talked was very well done. Talking about what's going to happen with the match between Lashley and Storm. I'm alright with seeing that they're putting him in this position outside of the Impact Zone in Orlando. It was somewhere in, what was it? I think in Houston, Texas. No problem. I'm glad to see that they're doing things like this. Do it outside of the zone. That makes this more important. They're doing it more better than WWE because they're not willing to go outside of the arena they're working in. They always do it in the arena. I'm alright with that. Now, the first match, I might as well get it done. The world title match, which came in the middle of the show. Normally I always do it at the end. This time they did it in the middle, which I was alright with. It was still a good match and it really ramped up the crowd. The crowd did get more interested seeing Storm and seeing Lashley. Then we saw, I thought we got Josh as a manager. I was saying, yes, this is exactly where he needs to be. He needs to be a manager. No, they put him back in commentary, which I believe was a lost opportunity. He was away from the commentary team. It would have been better that he be staying away from it, not because he can't do a good job, but as a heel, he's got heat. He needed to be away from the commentary table, at least at the time. I'm not talking about the end of the show, which I will talk about in a minute. But at that moment, I thought it was a lost opportunity to have him as Lashley's manager. But as it went down in the match, what we got was a EC3 coming out, an EC3 cracking a bottle over Storm's head, and a Lashley winning. So now we're going to have Storm versus EC3. And Lashley will stay as he is. Probably going to be dealing with Magnus, which Magnus did show himself. Just before the match, he had an interview with Mackenzie. And he pretty much said, and I will be getting to Karen Jarrett in a minute because of what happened with the X Division. I will be getting to it, but you already know that GFW has now merged with Impact Wrestling. It made sense because they're not doing anything with GFW anyway. But Magnet made it very clear. I'm the GFW champ. This means my title gives me a shot to go to the head of the line. I am well, he didn't say I'm an unbeaten champion, but he pretty much said I'm an unbeaten champion. I should go after Lashley. Fine. It's understandable in that respect. Now that Storm's going to be working with EC3 and now that Lashley will probably be working with Magnus, we at least have something for the main title picture. We got 4 people in the main title picture. You now have Magnus, you now have Lashley, you got EC3, and you got Storm. Got 2 people you haven't seen in a while in the main title picture, and 2 people you have. I'm alright with that. Now, the next person I'm going to talk about is Moose dealing with Chris Adonis. And supposedly when he went to AAA or somewhere else, I can't remember where, he got put into the Adonis lock, got his ass out, and Chris Adonis pretty much said, I'm coming for you. This is my title. But here's the thing, when it came to McKenzie again with the Moose, Chris Adonis is not going to be the one that's going after the title because supposedly Moose broke his arm conveniently, and now we get what I was hoping for. A title opportunity for both, I mean this very clearly, for both Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards. Now Davey Richards is going after the Grand Championship. No problem with that. That's exactly where it needs to be. It would have been okay in the main title picture, but the way they have been working due to the fact of the regime change going from TNA to Impact Wrestling, I knew they weren't going to go there. So they went to the mid-card title, which is the Impact Grand Championship. Now we're going to have a real feud with a real stake because we just had both of them just beating up on each other. I'm fine with that. That's actually really good. And having Angelina Love being in face of Moose saying, oh, you think something's going on? Now you're really going to get it because my man's going to eat you. You're done. Fine. Now, LAX versus some jobbers. Now, the only reason I'm bringing this up, because it wasn't a very long match, is because supposedly because I did see Andre's channel, but I didn't see the video of what happened to Crazy Steve for leaving, either because his contract was up or Crazy Steve left on his own or breaking his contract. I don't know. After this, I'm going to actually see it because I didn't want to know exactly what happened to Crazy Steve yet. But Crazy Steve is now I really like Crazy Steve with DK. But now DK now have lost Crazy Steve. Now either going to bring someone in to replace him or DK is now permanently broken apart. My guess is DK is broken apart now. But knowing that DK is going to be challenging LAX next week is kind of, for me, it's telegraphed because I know Crazy Steve is not going to be there. That means they're not going to win the title. But it does mean for some opportunities. Abyss with Tyrus. Put those 2 freaking monsters in the same ring together, working together. You got something that will terrify all the tag teams that's in Impact Wrestling. This is what I've said for many, many years. Not years. Many months. Put the Abyss, I know it's Abyss, but the Abyss, the darkness of Impact Wrestling with the Fixer, and you got the National Disasters all over again. You got 2 big ass guys that's going to destroy people. Please do that. Please do that. Please do that. It's a simple formula. Put 2 freaking guys together, it works. Now, oh, I don't want to forget this. Tank Top Girl had a wonderful moment with James Storm putting it in my face. If anyone knows Tank Top Girl from Impact Wrestling, the girl is in the audience. She's a staple of Impact Wrestling. She's there every single time. Someone, if you know her, tell her, and she's still been in my face. Tell her she's beautiful. We notice her. She's a staple. And so did Impact realize that when not only And I'm putting Storm back on my shoulder. Well, putting Storm on my shoulder with the tank top girl. Not only did she get a beard bath in my face, she gets a high five from Lashley. They noticed her ass. They noticed her. This is something that's good for Impact Wrestling. They don't generally do this on WWE all the time. Yeah, they fist pump the fans, but not the really known fans, the ones that are always at the shows. They don't get that option because it's not everyone that can go to every show that WWE can go to. But here, because they're local, you got someone, a stable, special person, and she's it. Now she's out of my face, or she's been out of my face. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that in post-editing. But in the end, she got recognized. She deserves it. Now, baby. She was probably you know, wherever. Glad to see you got it. Now, Cairo Kong with a jobber. Destroyed him. Squished his ass. And the jobber did a good job of shaking his ass, going, that was nice. I'm fine with that. It was good to see it. It was good to see that a guy that big destroyed someone. Now the question's going to be, are they going to continue building Congo Kong? Are they going to build up KM? Please, why isn't KM more sponsored? It's all about Congo Kong. It's got to be about KM too. You shouldn't have had the job to a Braxton Sutter. And I know he didn't lose in a match. He did get his ass beat after a match. So that makes him just like if he lost a match. I'm sorry. That's how I see it. Am I forgetting anything? That's it. Now we just got the end of the show. Now, just before the title match for the heavyweight title, Jarrett comes out. And she says clearly, GFW is now merged with Impact Wrestling. So both rosters are now going to be working. I don't know what they're going to do about the titles of the next gen title, the heavyweight title. My guess is they're going to phase them out once Cody and Magnus does something. Even the women's title. And it was Sienna who said something to Karen. Where's the women's title champion? Where is she? I want her. Where is she? That's going to be a question. Don't know. I do have one thing I'm going to say about all of this in a follow-up video. A debate of the week. You guys can check it for yourself. It might be about something special with Global Force Wrestling transforming into something else. You watch for it. It'll probably be after this. But it was good to hear her say it. It was good to hear that GFW is going away. Because we weren't seeing anything anyway. And all the wrestlers need to work. And we need more wrestlers on Impact. Now that Anthem has been giving them more money, pumping money into the company. Now, you got Sanjay Dutt that came back. He had his moment talking. You got Andrew Everett talking. And they convinced Bruce Pritchard, who came into the ring a few minutes later, to pretty much let the X Division main event the show. X Division. Wait, what? What? When was the last time the X Division main... what? I haven't seen the X Division, basically an X Division match end the show in a long time. I don't remember the last time an X Division match has ended the show. It doesn't matter if it was a 6-man match or one-on-one or whatever. I haven't seen it in a long time. I think more than 2 or 3 years since the X Division has been allowed to main event the Impact Zone. At least 2 years. At least. So when Loki came in and Dante, I think his name is, what is it? I forgot his name. What was his name? Damon. Or I'm mispronouncing the guy. His name is basically Xavier. He did a good showing. Look, I'd rather see a one-on-one for the X Division. I want to see some storylines for the X Division. I want to see something. But this is a good start. If Anthem, if Bruce Prickards, if Dutch Montel, and Jeff Jarrett understand the X Division needs a reconstruction, this is a perfect way to start it. I'm not saying they'll be able to continue building it very well, but if they really want to show the people that the X Division is important, this is it. This is how you do it. This is how it should be done. Let the main event, at least one of the 4 main events for a month. Do that once a month. Let the X Division main event. That'll show the people, hey, we really mean this. We want to rebuild this company, and X Division was important. And when you see this match, this was one hell of a good match. Yeah, there was no story, but the match quality was top notch, at least until Sanjay Dutt got a shiner, a bad wallop on his eye. Here he is in my face. He got nailed bad by Loki, and I'm taking Loki out of, not taking Loki, I'm taking Sanjay out of my face. Loki nailed him when they did that five-man drop kick on Trevor Lee, and I believe I got the shot. You'll be able to see easily that Loki's legs was literally in Sanjay Dutt's face and whacked him right in his left eye. Hopefully the damage isn't permanent. But I'm going to be honest here. I like Loki. I do. But I really felt Sanjay Dutt should have been the one to win it. Why not? If Sanjay Dutt, and I haven't checked the website, I'm going to after this. If Sanjay Dutt is on the website as their new member of the roster, why not give it to him? He's never held the freaking title. But now, 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, 5, it is now Loki who got a 5th run with that title. Why not give it to Sanjay Dutt? Why not give it to Sanjay Dutt? He's not a bad character. He talked pretty well. He's been there since the beginning like Loki has. How come he doesn't have a fucking title? At least one. Unless they're going to groom him for the Impact Grand Championship. Why not give him the title? Well, Loki wins. But this isn't the end, ladies and gentlemen. There's one last thing we're going to talk about. And that's the possible match between the JB and the Josh Matthews. What did we get after the match was over? We still get the argument, bickering between the two. And then the Pope says, you know what? Go to hell, Josh. He says, tell me to go to hell, you go to hell. And then what do we get? Josh pretty much says to JB, what do you want? What are you going to do? You're going to deck me? You're going to do something? You don't got the balls for it. He literally says, you don't got the balls for it. And he winds up and decks the crap out of Josh Matthews, who's a perfectly great heel. I still want him as a manager, but before he becomes a manager, if he's got to have a feud with JB, it's perfect. This is how you build into something more on the show. It's not something we haven't seen before, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen announcers go at each other. Come on, we have. But in this respect, we haven't seen it on Impact. And I'm interested in seeing JB fighting Josh Matthews in the middle of a ring and someone getting their ass kicked. This was a surprising show. It was good. Was it great? That's up for debate, but it was a good show. It was solid. But this is my point of view. Guys, tell me below, and I hope you enjoyed the Zane view. Please get me a comment below. Look for my debate of the week on a possible idea what might happen to the next gen title and the World Heavyweight title of GFW. You never know. My idea might actually happen. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.